Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining Rhythm's Perspective. Today's topic is something that is so close to my heart. Actually, all topics are close to my heart, but this one especially is close to my heart because this is something that I have dealt with throughout my life. So, without any further ado, let's get into it. Dealing with insecurities. Now, this is something that I have struggled with my whole life, whether it be based on my looks, whether it be based on my academics, or whether it be based on even my personality in general. I used to be quite an insecure person. Um, but this is something that I had to really take time out to understand um, why these insecurities came across in the first place. So my first point was to understand, why do I feel this way? Where am I coming from? What is has happened that has made me feel this way? And slowly, when I started discovering more about my why, I realized that these were all stemming from my childhood. So, for example, growing up, I was made to feel quite insecure about the way I looked because I used to be fat and overweight, and not that it's something wrong, but at that time it was seen in a negative light, and I used to be made to feel quite ugly and quite not good enough for people. And I used to also be made fun of, especially even from family members regarding my skin color, regarding my weight. And so I used to feel quite insecure because of all the comments that were surrounding over towards my looks. Secondly, on my academics, I used to always be made to be compared with my sister. So my sister used to be quite good at her academics, and I was always um, I was always put as a competition against her, where people would compare me like, "Oh, you're not as good as your sister," or "You're not smart enough," or "You're quite stupid." And this is something that was quite prominent even by teachers, because we used to go to the same school, and she was a class higher than me. She would always create a high standard, which I think is great, which is good for her. But at that time, I didn't know that comparing one person to another is not the right way to go. So the comparison is what had made me feel insecure about my academics, and even my personality. I was not able to form my own personality because as a child, when we all grow up, we don't really know who we really are. And so we take adults' opinions as who we are. So, for example, for me growing up, I was quite extroverted. However, through the years, I became more introverted. However, when I really introspected myself, I realized that I'm actually extroverted around people that I'm emotionally safe with, and I'm quite introverted in areas where, for example, or not just introverted, I just keep to myself in places where I don't know a lot of people around me, or I feel that I do not need to spend that much energy. And so I just keep to myself more. But however, growing up, a lot of people form their own opinions about who I am, if I'm introverted or extroverted, or if I was fat or thin, or if I was not good enough. I would narrate that story to myself based on other people's opinions, when that actually was not true. So I realized this by really understanding where I came from, by understanding that, oh, I'm feeling insecure because of all of these experiences that I had to experience growing up. And this is not to say that I'm going to put myself as a victim and blame everybody for making me feel this way. No. Um, the point of this is that everybody is projecting out of their own childhood experiences or their own trauma, and they project it onto other people unconsciously. But it is on me to understand where I'm coming from, to understand the person that I am, and to not allow myself to form those opinions of me that are made by other people. I need to form my own opinion of me. And that happens by starting to understand yourself. Now, once you understand yourself, it is very important to create a definition of yourself that is solely based on your exploration of yourself. Now, what I mean by this is that through learning and understanding where I'm coming from, I was slowly able to realize the kind of person that I am, the kind of person that I am in different situations, the kind of person that I am in 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 with people. And so through uncovering this, I was able to realize that other people's opinions does not matter as long as the opinion that I have formed on myself is what is important. So, for example, for me, um, I was able to realize so many things about myself. Like I'm a trustworthy person. I'm a reliable person. I am someone who can, where people can depend on me. I'm quite independent, and um, so small things like this, I was able to discover only when I was able to define who I was by understanding where I'm coming from. And on top of that, once I was able to understand where my insecurities were coming from, I was able to slowly uncover and discover that, hey, comparing myself to other women or comparing myself to others based on academics is not a true representation of myself, because no two people look the same unless you're an identical twin, but no two people look the same. I am me. I my qualities are so different from the qualities from others, and so it is only bringing me an injustice for comparing myself with others. And when I stopped doing that, and let me tell you, stopping to compare myself with anybody is one of the most difficult things I had to overcome. Even today, I sometimes have to catch myself and literally go back and tell myself like, hey, Ritam, you're actually comparing yourself again. Like, we already thought that comparing with others is not true, because when you compare yourself with others and then feel insecure, you are not only doing an injustice to yourself, but you're also doing an injustice towards your higher self that you want to go to, and you're doing an injustice towards the other persons and their accomplishments. So, for example, if you're comparing yourself with the life that somebody else has, and you say that they have a better life than you, or they're going for all of these holidays that you want to go to, or they have these things that you want. However, you're doing an injustice to yourself for the hard work that you're putting in to achieve those things. You're doing an injustice to your higher self, where your higher self is wanting you to, want to learn and experiences those challenges so that you can overcome it and become a better person in order to receive the things that you want to receive. And you're doing an injustice towards others, and their right to having what they have. So, for example, if they are getting the job that you want, or they're getting the trips that you've been wanting to go to, that's they have earned it. It is in their right, in their life, it is destined upon them. So you being jealous towards others is not only wasting your own energy, you're just also doing a huge injustice towards yourself and towards others, because what is destined for you will come to you. There is no doubt about that. So being insecure towards others and comparing yourself towards others is only going to make you feel negative about yourself and about others. So really take time out to understand, take time out to make the definition of yourself, not allowing other people's opinions of you to define who you are, because that's an extremely important thing to understand. So, for example, I can give an example to make it easier. Let's say that you are feeling really angry about someone, or someone's making you getting you really riled up, and you're feeling really frustrated, and in the spur of the moment, you were thinking, oh, I just feel like murdering this person. But do your actions actually say that? Like you are thinking that, oh, I just feel like murdering this person because you're feeling angry. But are you actually murdering this person? Because if you are actually murdering this person and people call you a murderer, then yes, that is true. However, if you're just thinking that, oh, I'm just going to murder this person, I feel really frustrated, but then you don't do it, does that mean you're a murderer? No, right? So, in the same way, if people form this opinion of you and you actually know yourself and you are not that what they think of you, then who cares what they think? Because people are going to think what they think, people are going to believe what they believe. It's on you to take that right and say, hey, I'm not going to bother myself with this opinion that you have formed about me. And I'm just going to continue moving on with my life and my opinion that I have formed on myself that I know to be true. Now, there could also be instances where there could be good people in your life that are pointing out um, certain characteristics about you that you may not have noticed before, and they're actually true. So, for example, for me, when I used to compare myself with other women, um, good people in my life pointed it out that, hey, you're actually bringing yourself down because you're comparing yourself with other women. And this was a characteristic of mine back then. And I was constantly in this negative cycle of putting myself down. And only when they told me, I actually sat down to understand where I'm coming from. And I realized that actually they were right. I am comparing myself to people. But the thing was, this was a characteristic. This was not a true representation of who I am. This was something that was instilled upon me. Like you need to compare yourself with others to see how good you are. Because of, as I explained, because of my childhood growing up, this is what was taught to me. Um, and then I realized that, oh, I'm doing this like as a habit. And so I've got to change. This is something that is bringing me really down. And I don't want to put myself down. And this is not a true representation of me. And so I am going to take this. Um, I'm going to take this opinion, and I'm going to try and see where I can improve. And only by doing that, I was I'm so glad that these people told me that this is something that I was doing, because I was able to understand and really uncover more about myself. So sometimes good people in your life can show you the way. However, um, it is on you to still take it and really understand that, oh, this might be something that they are right about and I can change. But it still doesn't mean that this is who you are. Comparing myself with other women was not who I was, who I truly was. It's just something that I was doing, to, I guess, try and make me feel better. Or, it's just something that I was doing because of habit. It does not mean that that was who I was. It was just something that I was doing based on a habit. So, yeah, so do not allow other people's opinions of you to define who you are. You define who you are. You set the standards, you set your boundaries, and you allow yourself to understand who you are, allow yourself to form that opinion of yourself, and allow yourself to stick to it. The rest of what people think about you, it does not matter. Now, once you discover where your insecurities are lying from, and you answer your questions of why I am being this way, or where is this thought coming from, and you start to improve and you start to change, and you define who you are. You need to unwire your brain from the negative thoughts about yourself. Now, this is an extremely important thing, because out of habit, humans tend to continuously think the same way throughout their life unless they take the time out to really unwire their brain from all of those negative thoughts and try to rewire it into a positive thought, or into steps that you can change to get you to becoming, or to get you to stop thinking those negative thoughts. Now, having those negative thoughts is okay, it's very human, However, you need to improve yourself, and to improve yourself, that will mean that you will have to rewire your negative thoughts. So for me, I used to think that I was not good enough, and I used to think I was stupid in academics because I was made to feel this way, and so I used to think that, oh, I'm quite stupid, so I won't be able to do anything, or I won't be able to achieve the dreams that I've always wanted to achieve, or go to the university that I've always wanted to go to. And so, because of that, I had to slowly notice those thoughts when they were popping up and tell myself, like, hey, actually, that's not true. You're thinking this way because of these scenarios or these experiences that you went through. However, um, your qualities are so different. Your where your strengths lie is so different from what people have recognized out of you. So use those qualities, use those strengths, and get yourself to a better place. And I did. I proved that thought of myself of I'm stupid or not good enough. I proved myself wrong, and I was able to get good grades, and I was able to go to uni, and I was able to really do well in uni, and I was able to tell myself, like, the narrative that I had told of myself based on those experiences was not right. And that started from rewiring my brain, discovering when those negative thoughts were coming up, and then thinking to myself, hey, it's okay, you're human, these thoughts can come up. However, this narrative that I've told myself, it's not true. And sometimes what I have also noticed, some people, what they do is they have this breathing technique where when they feel like they're having that negative thought again, they breathe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and they say, whatever I'm thinking is not true. Whatever I'm not thinking is not true. And then instantly I can see their mood change. So everybody has their own way of coping. However, what I want you to realize is that you need to really discover when those negative thoughts are coming up, literally pinpoint on it, like, hey, I'm actually having that negative thought, and then find your way of how to rewire your brain. So for me, rewiring my brain was, I noticed that, hey, I'm having a negative thought. I would tell myself, hey, I'm having a negative thought. And then I would say, actually, that negative thought of myself is based on childhood experiences, which might not be true, and it's actually not true. I am not that person. And then instantly my mood lifted, and I was able to, prove that negative thought wrong. And slowly by doing this, I realized that I actually don't have those negative thoughts anymore. Yeah, in the future, I might have different negative thoughts that I would have to rewire my brain for. But that negative thought of, like, oh, I'm not good enough, or I'm stupid, or I won't be able to go, to the uni that I want to go to, it all went away because I proved that thought wrong. So rewiring your brain is difficult. Please don't get me wrong, is difficult. It takes time, it takes effort, it takes energy. But I promise you, when you stick towards really rewiring your brain, you are going to become a better person. You are going to become a positive person. You are going to become so much more confident in yourself. And what more greater feeling than, feeling that confident version of yourself? And not only that, you are going to help become help others become a better person, because you will be able to see it in others, like, oh, they're feeling insecure, then it might be because of their childhood experiences, or you allow them to discover where their insecurities are coming from, and then you will be able to advise others. It's the same way you will be able to advise others that, hey, like, having these negative thoughts, and or having these insecurities, they're normal, they're human, they're part of a human experiences. And so you need to really give yourself that space, give yourself um, that encouragement that it's okay, we can change, and others' opinions of me are not true. I need to discover who I am. I need to define who I am, and I need to really change the narrative of how I think, um, of what I think of myself. So it is something that takes time and effort, like I said before, but you truly, truly, truly are going to feel like such a different person when you work through all of these insecurities, when you work through all of these thoughts, negative thoughts, when you rewire your brain, because you're rewiring your brain for success, you're rewiring your brain for becoming a positive person. So please take time out, please give yourself that energy, please give yourself that love that you need in order to become the person that you want to become. And remember that people's opinions about you do not define you. Your insecurities do not define you. They are just experiences that have been put upon you. And because as a child, we don't know. We don't know things, but we are slowly discovering things from our outside world, from our adults that are close to us. And so sometimes it's not true. Those experiences, it might be good, it might be bad, but um the 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 whole thing that um makes you have those insecurity feelings is not a true representation of yourself. So please take time out to understand where your thoughts are coming from. Please take time out to understand yourself, and please take time out to define who you are, because if you do not do it, nobody else will do it. Having an insecurity is normal. It's completely human. And please understand yourself. Please give yourself the time. Please give yourself the energy to understand yourself, understand where your insecurities are coming from, and give yourself that love that you are lacking, because insecurities stem from the love that you are lacking within yourself. So if you're able to give that love to yourself by understanding where you're coming from, you are not only going to become a better person, but you're going to start spreading out that same love towards other people, and know that there's already so much negativity in the world, but positivity starts from us. So, yeah, I hope that you were able to relate to the video. I hope that you were able to take away a few points that you might have found valuable. And I'm so grateful for this platform. I'm so grateful for everybody watching this video. I'm so grateful for all the resources that I have that allows me to put out this video. And I'm just so grateful for everything and everybody that is trying and becoming better, not just for themselves, but for the world in general. So yeah, I hope you have a great day. I hope you have a great weekend, wherever you are. I hope you take care, and yeah, just have a good time. Thank you.